Well, it's midday on the 29th of July, and here's our position. We're about 20 miles off the coast of Franz Josef Land, but the weather's very poor. I'm bouncing around, can't see anything as yet. But I'm actually, I was going to keep running on north, but actually, if I just scroll through to another page on the GPS, just have a look at the speeds here. 5.3, actually it's gone down a little bit. 5.9. At one point it was over 7 knots over the ground. Of course, we're not doing anything like that through the water. And what this tells me is there's 6 knots there. There is a very, very strong northerly current here, and I do not want to get stuck in this current. If we lost the wind, I would just be swept up to the north, up to the ice, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to turn round for the moment. And just probably head south. We'll see, but that worries me. The speed, I would say our speed through the water at the moment is probably about 3 knots. So there's a massive current here. Look at that, 6.1 knots. So I'm going to put us about and head south from here, which is a bit sad, but I can't risk getting carried right up into the ice. So there we are. That probably is going to be the turning point of the voyage, but it seems to me to be the correct and seaman-like thing to do. Right, well, just to go over this in more detail, there's our position. 8115.184, 3 and so on, reducing, and east 46, 24.7, and again reducing because we're now heading as best we can to the southwest. And if I just switch this off now, I can show you here why. It's just after midday, and there's our noon position there, and this is going to be our most northerly noon position anyway. I think we have been a bit further north coming across, but I am turning around here. I was intending to carry on up into this corner and see what happened, but taking my noon position here on the GPS, it was showing a terrific northeasterly current here. At one point we're showing sort of 6.5, 7 knots of speed over the ground, and I'd say our speed through the water was at the most 3.5 to 4, but certainly a 2-knot current coming up here. Now, I do not want to be in a 2-knot current, a place where there's a 2-knot current carrying up towards the ice, because the edge of the pack ice is sort of in this area here. If I lose the wind, then I'm going to be carried up there at 50 miles a day. 2 days I'm in the ice, so I've got to get the hell out of here and get out of this current. It's not been in sort of evidence much further south, so hopefully I can just beat my way out of it. At the moment we're about, by the looks of it, 22, 24 miles offshore, and we're coming down now. We've got a west-northwest wind, and we're hard on the wind and coming down this way. Hopefully we can weather Cape Mary Harmsworth here if this wind holds. So that's the position. Nature basically has dictated where the windward mark is, if you like. We've been around the wing mark. This is the windward mark. From here we have to make our way south and get clear of this current and of these islands. The only disappointment so far is I've not seen Franz Josef Land at all. If we go and have a quick look at, in fact it's sort of clearing up a little bit. Open the hatch here. There we go. Just secure the hatch a minute. That doesn't flop down on it. There we are. Okie dokie. Right, it's actually brightening up a little bit, but it has been very grey. We've not had any rain, but it's hello, there's a nice kittiwake up there. Oh, yeah, there we go. But if we look over towards the land, which is over this way, there's just thick cloud, and I suspect that if the cloud were to clear, we should see the land. It's not high and mountainous like Spitsbergen, but I would think all the islands are at least 600 or 700 feet high. But my chart doesn't mark the height, so that doesn't help. But anyway, since we've been within sort of potentially visual distance of Franz Josef Land, we've had no visibility whatsoever. Hopefully that might improve as we go south. I'd like to at least catch sight of it. But actually the main object of this voyage was to sail in the water that we're in now, the Queen Victoria Sea. So we've achieved that and I'm very happy. Right, so I just need to make a quick correction to that last clip where I was talking about where we're heading now. We are of course heading southwest, not southeast. We are losing our east longitude and we're losing our north latitude. So yeah, it's southwest, not southeast. Just a point though, while I'm back on, as it were, what this demonstrates is the necessity always for caution near land, because if we come back to the chart, just again switch that off so as not to waste battery. We come back to the chart, there's my noon position, and you see on the chart I've marked these circles are the 12 miles, so that's keeps me in international waters. But the point is that last night, this morning, the temptation would have been to come in close to the land. So I might, if I come in close, I might possibly have ended up somewhere here. And if I've discovered that current there, with the wind that I've got, I would be very, very hard pressed to get out of here. And the fact is that I've kept myself a good 20 miles offshore to make sure that whatever the wind does, I've got room to get off this lee shore. I've always had this escape route around the southwest corner here. and I just can't stress the importance of keeping sea room. You know, people tend to see the land as being the place. Keeping close to the land keeps you safe. I have the opposite view. Keeping away from the land keeps you safe, because the worst combination is sea and land put together. If you're in the open sea and you've got full movement in every direction, you'd be okay. So we're hard on the wind. I'm not sure how much leeway we're making as yet, but despite that we're going to be able, I think, to weather the southwest corner of Franz Josef Land just on one tack if this wind holds. Otherwise you might just have to go north a bit and then about. But the point is that by keeping offshore, it enables me to get out of this fix with this sudden current which has appeared just in the last hour or two. Very, very strong current coming around this way. So if I had been much closer in, I quite frankly could have been in a spot of bother if the conditions had held exactly as they are.